TG Geeks, episode 407, December 5th, 2022. Horror at Christmas? Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely, it's raining again, Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, coming to you from It's Winter, because it is raining here in Phoenix area. It's wet outside.
It's wet outside. That's weird.
I just took a look out there a few moments ago, and when the water level actually, or the wet level, shall we call it, actually starts to encroach on our patio door, I know it's raining really well.
Exactly. Well, we're just going to get right into it.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the two gay geeks are discussing this.
Well, in this episode, we are going to talk to Trisha from Winter Horror Fest, and we're going to talk about what that is and the event that they have coming up later on this month, later on in December here in Phoenix, Arizona. Have our birthday shout-outs, our featured podcast of the week, and we got some feedback. A couple of other shout-outs. In the second segment, we have something a little funny and another thing that we're going to talk about. So then we have our wacky weekly recap and our regular shout-outs. As always, we do all those things every single episode, and it's important to us to do those things.
So stay tuned all the way to the end.
Yeah, stay with us. You never know what might happen. We might do part of Monty Python and the Holy Grail at some point. You never know.
Again.
It always happens.
Again.
Let's just get right to it. And this time we welcome to the show Trisha of Winter Horror Fest. We were just talking about that, of how we're going to introduce her, and then I mess it up. How about that? Winter Horror Fest. She is one of the creatives and co-owners of Winter Horror Fest. They actually have a new event that we're here to talk to her about. Welcome, Trisha, to our show.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Wonderful. Great. It is a wonderful December morning in Phoenix, Arizona, which means that it's not too cold.
It's not too cold
compared to the rest of the world.
Any wonderful winter morning in Phoenix means no snow.
Exactly. And so they're all wonderful. Anyway.
Yeah, I tell my friends back east that we only shovel sunshine here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know. It's I've been here for almost 30 years, and I think, 3 times it's actually snowed here, and it's the stuff you see up in the sky, and then it never accumulates other than in the Scottsdale foothills. So anyway, we're here to talk to you about this new event that you have that Winter Horror Fest is producing. But first, I want to talk about you. Let's find out who you are and how did you put Winter Horror Fest together, and then we'll segue into the new event. So give us kind of a little short bio, elevator pitch of your life, if you can do that.
Oh,
it's a very long elevator to the moon.
Oh boy. Right. Well, I have been producing and directing and putting together and building and crying about events here in Phoenix for, longer than I'm going to admit. I'm not going to tip my cards and show my age. But I've been putting together events for a while, and one of the things that I noticed was that for being the fifth largest city in the nation, we don't have any of the cool stuff the other four cities have, especially at Christmas or during the holidays.
Right.
And I didn't really know why, but I thought, well, maybe it's just because nobody's decided to do it. And I thought, oh, well, if no one's decided to do it, I guess that means I better decide to do it.
I'm going to take that on my
those are the kinds of things I
shoulders.
think about when I can't sleep. So and like I noticed every year I was wanting to travel to different cities and go to these cool conventions and events and fundraisers and talks. And I'm like, why aren't we just doing them? And so I've got terrible insomnia. So I jumped up, and the closest thing I could find to me was a half folded in half dirty Post-it notepad that I don't even know where I got. And I grabbed that and a pen and started kind of scratching out these ideas until I could finally sleep. And the next day I'm like, well, if I did that much, I better kind of start looking into it. And I was already, kind of familiar with the process. I run a local shadow cast here that does regular showings of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We do The Room, the Tommy Wiseau movie. That one's fun. We do, just little things like that. And I've brought in vendors and opening acts and things. So I kind of understood the process. I didn't think it would be that difficult. It turns out it is very difficult.
Yes.
It's a lot. There's a lot of moving pieces. But as I started going and started taking steps, I realized that I could do it. But maybe it was a little bigger than me, and maybe I should bring somebody else on board. So I found a partner that originally she was just kind of coming in as a vendor and was going to help with events and stuff. And the more we worked together, I realized that she was really strong in the areas that I'm not, and I was really strong in the areas that she was not. So as much as our working styles are completely different and we drive each other nuts with it, it's very, very effective. So we just started doing this, and we knew we didn't want to go overboard. We didn't want to go into big debt to do it. We knew that there was going to be a lot of work to be able to make this work, and we knew for a first-year event to aim high, but not to set the sights so high that failure could even be an option. We needed to make it big, make it fun, and make it for a cause. There was a cause here that was really, really important to me, and I was already kind of trying to do some things for them, and I thought, you know what, let's bring that into this event and focus on doing something really, really cool for the right reasons and just see what we can do with it.
Cool.
And we built an entire company around it, and here we go.
So how many years have you done the Winter Horror Fest then, or an event with Winter Horror Fest?
So Winter Horror Fest, this is a first-year event. Winter Horror Fest is a brand-new baby company that we formed together, but I've been doing my other productions for, cough, cough, 20 years, cough, cough. And then my partner has been doing different events, and she does things that are a little different than what I do. She does different kinds of events, and she just opened recently a shop of her own, a brick and mortar shop, and she's got a little radio show. She does all kinds of little things. So she's, she's kind of been in the production, putting together, getting things in motion and the things for quite a long time too. So we took that combined knowledge and kind of platform and merged it into one and formed Winter Horror Fest this year.
Cool.
It's almost a year old.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So this year you are doing a special event, and interesting that, and I'm just going to throw this out here. You just called me out of the blue and said, we have this going on, and And I thought, who in the heck is this? And then you dropped Eileen Dietz' name, and then it was like,
Eileen Dietz,
aha, now I know.
Yeah, it all comes clear now.
Yeah, we had just talked to or seen Eileen the week before or the weekend before, and she must have gotten right on the horn to tell you about us. So that was pretty cool, and I'm glad she did, because when we talked on the phone, this was really an important thing. So tell us what the Winter Horror Fest, this special event that you are doing. Tell us what is included, and then we'll get to why you're doing this and where the proceeds go and what you're trying to support at this point. So tell us about what you're going to do.
Well, we are doing an event December 16th through 18th called the Fright Before Christmas, and we are holding that at Phoenix Center for the Arts. We're doing some really cool stuff with it. It's going to be a Christmas-themed horror convention, basically. We are bringing in some fantastic guests and presentations. A really cool company, Red Rock Resale, has donated 50 magic kits, really cool magic kits. So the first 50 kids in the door get a free gift. We've got some other local vendors and retailers that are donating some cool stuff, so we can give it away. And we're, maybe going to have some raffles and some things like that. You mentioned Eileen Dietz. She is actually going to be there. You guys, I'm sure, know her as Pazuzu's face from The Exorcist.
Right.
Pretty much any of the parts that a kid should not be doing in The Exorcist, those are Eileen Dietz. And we're bringing the special effects absolute master himself, production designer Mick Strawn. Any horror movie that you've ever watched and really loved, Mick Strawn probably did it. He's just... the scene in Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the movie theater scene where everything kind of goes upside down, and he built that whole set himself.
Wow.
He's just amazing.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
coming
impressive.
out. He's coming to do a presentation called Behind the Screens. It's a stage show, and he's a riot in person. He's just hilarious, and so he's going to do a stage show for us with some behind-the-scenes stuff and kind of show us how these effects were made and what he did and how he pulled all this together. So that's a really cool thing for a convention. Conventions don't usually have that platform, and since our venue has a theater, we get to do that. So I'm really excited for that.
Cool.
Eugene Clark, Big Daddy from Land of the Dead, he's going to be out here. John Dugan, Grandpa Sawyer from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Literally the most terrifying part of the whole entire movie is Grandpa Sawyer, and he's going to be out here. We're bringing Stephen Biro, the president of Unearthed Films. He's going to come out, and we're going to do a screening of one of his movies. But the important part of all of these people, and the reason I chose these celebrities, I had a few others that were kind of on board, but I chose these because there is a greater cause to this event, and we are working toward a really important goal, and all of these celebrities supported 100% that goal, and in fact kind of did some extra stuff to make sure they could be out here with us to support it. We are trying to raise awareness and bring Christmas and really ultimately the message of hope to a little place here in Phoenix called Mulligan's Manor. And Mulligan's Manor is a group home that they try to keep as family setting as they possibly can, and it's for extremely at-risk LGBTQ plus kids in the foster system. All kids in the foster system have stories that are heartbreaking, and none of it's good. But these kids particularly spoke to my heart. They're all about to age out of the system. These are teenagers they're about to age out, and they don't have anybody. They don't have anywhere, and it's already a struggle, and this group is so horribly underrepresented. They need to know that it gets better. They need to know that there's a whole community out here. There's a world out here.
Right.
That there are chances, and it's for them. This is for them, too. The world is theirs, too. And I wanted to bring that to them, present that to them, but how do you get the message out there?
Right.
Because we obviously have to protect their anonymity. They are minors. They are in the system. They, and you don't want to shine a spotlight on them either and make them feel even more. So I wanted to kind of figure out, like, how do I get it to these kids? There's a whole world that cares, that loves them, that is ready to embrace them and support them and lift them up and help them and wants to see them succeed. Well, there kind of wasn't anything better than the horror community, the nerd community, the gamers, all of us that have kind of felt like we didn't really have a place either. And for me, my story is a little bit personal. I was that kid in the foster system. I was the one that was struggling and didn't understand who I chose to love, how and how much. I didn't really understand why it mattered. Turns out it didn't matter, and that the world was wrong. So being able to get that to them, that, look, I did it. I came out of this too, and now I own a business, and I do all kinds of cool stuff, and this is for you. You can do it too.
Yeah.
So I started with Christmas, because what talks more about the message of hope than Christmas?
Right.
So what I wanted to do then, there was a local theater that raised some money for them, and that's cool. Raising money is great, and we all need a few extra bucks, but the state gives them money. Money is a thing that just kind of happens. It's cold. It doesn't really mean anything. It's a means to an end, and that's it. So I asked them for their wish list. I wanted to know, what do you want for Christmas? Ask me for the moon. If I can give it to you, I will. Just what? And God bless these kids. They were asking for things like warm socks and fuzzy bathrobes and journals and art supplies. And it just broke my heart. It just put such a humanity on this that, they just want what we all want. They want their basic needs met, and they want to feel loved. And so that's what I'm trying to bring them. We've done a little bit. We've got some gifts already on their way to them. I put together an angel tree for them. We can't use their names because they're kids. So there's a code for each kid so we know who's who, and put these wish lists on an ornament and hung them on this tree. And we passed them out at our last event, and some gifts have come in. And now at the Fright Before Christmas, we're going to put the tree up again. But because it is so close to Christmas, there will be the opportunity to have gifts delivered to the office for Mulligan's Banner, obviously not the home, that will still reach the kids. And then we are going to do a fundraiser so that we can get these kids gift cards so that they can do just typical kid stuff, like go to a mall and go shopping, or, whatever, buy their video games online with their, Amazon gift cards or whatever. So it's just really, really important to me that they be able to get their Christmas wishes met in what a cool way, from horror fans.
Right. That is really cool.
I am like wowed by all of this and by your passion to want to support them, and just for raising people's awareness of these kids that as you said, they're about to age out of the system. They're at risk. They're in need of support, and the fact that this event is going on to help provide that support I'm very moved by it.
They also need to be aware that there's something beyond the foster system. There's something beyond that they can do, and they don't have to live on the street. They don't have to be in that transactional, for lack of a better term, thing to be able to survive.
Well,
and everybody knows what I'm talking about, so we're not going to say it, but
yeah, true.
that happens to so many kids. Trust me, I worked with a bunch of street kids in Spokane, Washington, in a previous life when I worked at a 24-hour coffee shop. It was a safe haven for kids. And they just need to know that there's somebody that cares about them, and that there is something beyond the madness of, having to survive.
Well, and also I think
Yeah.
a lot of kids, when they hear, being a foster child. I mean, I think with the way things have been for the last couple of decades, I think a lot of kids think they'll hear that, and it immediately takes on a negative connotation. And
You are 100% correct.
and I think that scares them, and they don't want to be a part of that because of the horror stories, no pun intended, that they hear. And it's important to let them know that it's not all bad. There are organizations for foster kids that are good, that will treat them with respect and help put them on the right path to self-sufficiency when they reach age of maturity.
Sure.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, and I know with my own story, I really kept that detail of my life very, very private. That, I didn't talk about growing up or any of those things any more than absolutely necessary, because there is a stigma there that shouldn't exist. These kids didn't ask to be in this situation. This isn't through any fault of their own. At some point, somebody who they trusted failed them, and that sucks.
Yeah.
And when I kind of started realizing that about myself, that I didn't do that. I didn't want to be there. What I want to do is succeed, and I'm going to figure out how. And if these things are a stepping stone, then cool. If they are not, if they're a stumbling block, then I just need to move them.
Right.
And that's what I did. But, not everybody is able to to do that, to embrace that. So for these kids to know that their story is just a story, and not every story is worth retelling. It's just a story. It's just a past. It's just a thing. And here are the people that are going to start moving stumbling blocks for you.
Exactly.
Here are the people that want you to have fuzzy bathrobes, but also we want you to know how to fill out a job application, or how
Exactly.
to apply for college, or how to just come be a person, however you are, whoever you are. Come be that, and that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And for them to understand that there are success stories all the time, because you hear the horror stories, right? Because those are the ones that make headlines. Those are the ones that get attention. You don't hear the ones about, here's the kid that came out of this system and here's what they went through. But look at them now. I want all of these kids to be the look at them now stories.
Right.
And if I can bring that to them in any capacity, that's all I really want out of all of this.
And
The rest of it's just cool. I mean, we're going to do cool events. We're going to have fun things. But, man, if I can just get one of them to believe in themselves and to know that it really does get better, that it's not always, it's always hard. It's hard for all of us.
Yeah.
But it's not always scary, and it's not always mean. And, people really, really do care.
Exactly. I'm 62 years old, and it's still hard for me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my
Sure,
God,
sure.
every day, Why am I doing this? And you said something about, the stumbling blocks and how you move those stumbling blocks. Sometimes it's not about moving the stumbling block. Sometimes it's about going around it, and you need to know that too. What can't be moved, sometimes you can go around it. Get through it.
Build a bridge, burn it down, whatever you got to do.
Whatever you have to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for people that are interested in this event, the Fright Before Christmas, where can they learn more about that? Because I think this is something that desperately needs to be supported.
Absolutely. And not only from the support of the kids, but just the event itself. It's just cool.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. We're going to have food trucks out there, lots of local vendors. Just more and more things keep getting kind of added on. We're supposed to have some big kind of well-known local cosplayers out there. It's just going to be really fun. We're really looking forward to it. They can find us on social media, Instagram, and I believe, God bless my partner, she handles our Facebook. I don't Facebook. Those should all be easy to find as just, at Winter Horror Fest, or they can go to winterhorrorfest.com.
Winter Horror
And we
Fest.
are, for people who are interested, we are still accepting sponsors. We've got a couple of very limited vendor spaces available, and then, of course, ticket sales.
Cool.
Awesome.
This has been really great. I'm so glad that Eileen put you in touch with us, because this is really a special thing.
It sounds like an event I'm interested in the event
Absolutely.
in of itself.
Yep.
Oh, I hope I see you guys there. It'll be
Yeah.
so much fun.
I know we have something around that time, but I think, one of the days we can make it over there, at least for a little bit, and show some support for this. Well, Trisha, thank you so much for being on the show, and we will support this as much as we possibly can.
Oh, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I had a great time. I'm really glad you guys had me.
And we come up with some shout-outs at the end of this interview section. And we're going to give a shout-out to J. Scott Coatsworth, who actually runs the website Queer Sci-Fi and is a prolific author himself.
Prolific is an understatement.
Yeah, he's always turning something out, a short story or a novelette or a novella or a full-blown book, or a number of series that he has. I'm impressed with his work. I like his writing a lot. Queer Sci-Fi is a great place where you can be turned on to some new queer authors, and it's amazing. If you sign up for their newsletter, you get a couple of free books on sign up. So it's kind of neat. So check out Queer Sci-Fi and J. Scott Coatsworth.
Hey, this is Josh Hurley, narrator of The Last Son and The Hanged Man by Katie Edwards, and you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
Well, as I'm discombobulated today, we have a few selected birthdays for December 5th through December 11th, 2022. December 5th, Walt Disney.
Who?
Who's Walt
Walt
Disney?
Disney?
I don't know. He's considered to be the forerunner of the American animation industry. He won 22 Oscars and holds the records for most Academy Awards earned by an individual as a film producer. The Walt Disney Company has produced many successful animation films and continues to do so to this day, as well as live action. And, they've swallowed up Marvel and this and that and the other. So it's a huge company. He established the theme park at Disneyland in 1955, which has since grown beyond belief with additional parks everywhere around the world. Truly an innovator in the market until he died, 1968?
Yeah, and he liked to surround himself with other innovators. He liked people who thought outside the box.
Exactly. Then we have Margaret Cho, stand-up comedian, actress, and fashion designer. Margaret Cho is best known for creating and starring in the ABC sitcom All American Girl. She had a difficult childhood marred by sexual abuse and struggled for years to build a successful career. Besides comedy, she has her own clothing line. She actively supports women's rights and LGBTQIA plus rights. December 6th, Agnes Moorehead, best known for her Emmy-winning performance in the series The Wild Wild West.
I had no idea.
I know. And her Golden Globe-winning roles in the films Mrs. Tarkington and Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. She was also famous as Endora on the series Bewitched. She was the first female to host the Academy Awards.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that. I'm really curious about that performance in the Wild Wild West.
Yeah. She probably, who knows, was an associate of the two, or maybe she would, with her personality, probably a villainish.
I would imagine a villain.
Yeah. I have to look that up and find out. Ryan White, American teenager from Kokomo, Indiana, who became a national poster child for the HIV and AIDS in the United States after his school barred him from attending classes following a diagnosis of AIDS. As a hemophiliac, he became infected with HIV from a contaminated factor VIII blood treatment, and when diagnosed in December 1984, was given 6 months to live. Doctors said he posed no risk to other students, as AIDS is not an airborne disease and spreads solely through bodily fluids, but AIDS was poorly understood by the general public at the time. When White returned to school, many parents and teachers in Howard County rallied against his attendance due to unwarranted concerns of the disease spreading to other students and staff. Lengthy administrative appeal process ensued, and the news of the conflict turned Ryan into a popular celebrity and advocate for AIDS research and public education. Surprising his doctors, Ryan White lived 5 years longer than predicted. He died on April 8th, 1990, 1 month before his high school graduation.
So sad.
Amazing.
What was nice, though, is he and his family had to kind of relocate for his education.
Yep.
And what was wonderful is that, from what I've read, where they eventually went to, it was a community that embraced them.
Yeah.
Which I thought, that's what he needed.
Yeah, and the U.S. Congress passed a major piece of AIDS legislation, the Ryan White Care Act, shortly after White's death, which was signed into law by President George H.W. Bush in August 1990. The act has been reauthorized twice, and Ryan White programs are the largest provider of services for people living with HIV/AIDS in the United States. Then we have friend of ours, Andy Luke.
Happy birthday.
And December 7th, Richard Warren Sears was an American manager, businessman, and founder of Sears, Roebuck & Company with his partner, Alva Curtis Roebuck. We were just talking the other day about lamenting the demise of the big catalog stores, And
I miss that.
That's what we grew up with,
Yeah.
is you got the Sears catalog or you got the J.C. Penney catalog, and you circled what you wanted and put your name on it, and that's, for Christmas.
That's how you did it.
That's the way you did it.
I mean, it's admittedly, it is infinitely easier now.
Oh, yeah.
But, we're old farts. And yes, like everybody who reaches a certain age, go, oh, I remember way back when.
In fact, the big three, Sears, J.C. Penney, and Montgomery Ward's, are all three of them are gone. Completely.
Sadly. Well, I think there's still a Sears that's at the Metro Center.
Nope.
No, is that one gone too now?
All of them are gone.
Oh, I thought maybe because there was still one there that was doing appliances only, but I guess that's now
they may
gone.
have spun that off to something else, but I think that's been gone for a while too.
Wow.
Then we have Nicholas Hoult, famous English actor. He gained prominence after starring in the role of Marcus Brewer alongside Hugh Grant in the movie About a Boy. He is best known for playing the role of Beast in X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, and X-Men Apocalypse. Hoult earned a Golden Nymph Award for Best Actor in a Drama Series nomination for his portrayal of Tony Stoneham in the TV show Skins. Let's see. He once ran into a golf course dressed as a beast and gave golfing tips and then ran away. He recently admitted being in a relationship with model Brianna Holley. He is, this may be old, he also is a sports enthusiast and enjoys Formula One racing and used to play for the Reading Rockets. Besides his
Reading Rockets?
Reading Rockets. Reading Rockets. Reading Rockets. Besides his successful acting career, the actor is equally involved in social causes and charities associated with Teenage Cancer Trust and the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. And we have special shout out to our good friend Darren Daz Anderson.
One of my best
UK.
friends in England.
Yep. And Julie Stiglitz-Regal, one of my former classmates who is a teacher in Oklahoma. She is an incredible teacher and supports those kids that she teaches in many more ways than just teaching them the subject matter at hand. She teaches them about life.
Good.
December 8th, imagine this. Terry Hatcher.
Now, imagine this. The reason why is because as of today, when recording this episode, 11 years ago, we were at Disneyland, And specifically, we were at California Adventure, and who should I bump into but Terry Hatcher? Now, it turns out she was there for a reason. She just wasn't there enjoying the park. She was going to be doing something that night for, I believe, the Candlelight Processional.
Yeah.
But she just happened to be wandering around California Adventure, and I just walked up to her and said, "May I get a photograph with you?" And she was all smiles. Says, "Sure, absolutely." And I think it was her daughter that took the photo for her with me, and I just shared that on Facebook as of today. So
morning.
wow, what timing!
Exactly. She's a popular American actress who has enthralled the audiences with memorable performances in numerous films and TV series. She was studying mathematics and engineering when she accompanied a friend to Hollywood, intending to provide her moral support during a casting call. However, she won the part, and thus at the age of 21, she began her career with the role of a mermaid dancer in ABC's successful series, The Love Boat.
And her friend never spoke to her again.
Exactly. She got her first lead role at 29, appearing as Lois Lane in Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. In 1997, she earned acclaim for a performance as Paris Carver in Tomorrow Never Dies. However, she got her greatest triumph when at the age of 40, she was chosen to play Susan Meyer in Desperate Housewives, a role that earned her huge fame and multiple awards and nominations. And now we turn to Maximilian Schell.
Oh, my.
You know why I put that on here.
I can only guess.
Austrian and Swiss actor, director, producer, and writer of several of his own films. His family was vehemently opposed to the Nazis and fled to Zurich following the 1938 Anschluss, in which Austria was annexed by Nazi Germany. He served in the Swiss Army, and during the Second World War, he began his acting career on stage in West German films. And later he followed his sister, actress Maria Schell's
How did I not
footsteps to
figure that
Hollywood.
out? How did I not realize that Maria Schell and Maximilian Schell were siblings?
I don't know. He made his debut in the film The Young Lions, his second film in Hollywood. Judgment at Nuremberg won him Academy Award for Best Actor, Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Drama, and also New York Film Critics Circle Award for Best Actor. His ability to speak both in German and English soon saw him performing in a number of films of the Nazi-era themes. He also portrayed eminent personalities such as Albert Einstein, Russian Emperor Peter the Great, and Venezuelan leader Simon Bolivar. He received the Golden Globe for his essaying the role of Vladimir Lenin in the TV film Stalin. Many consider his portrayal of Hamlet on stage as one of the greatest Hamlets ever. And he was also in your favorite
God,
movie.
you had to bring it up.
Your favorite all-time, must-watch it if you talk about it, film.
The Black Hole.
The Black Hole.
Disney's The Black
by
Hole.
Disney, of all things.
As Dr. Reinhardt.
Yes.
That... I hate that movie, and yet I must watch it. It drives me nuts.
And then we have a friend of ours, Emily Black. December 9th, Judi Dench, actress best known for her roles as M in the 007 James Bond films. She made her professional theater debut at the Royal Court Theatre as Ophelia in Hamlet, produced by the Old Vic Company. She later joined the Royal Shakespeare Company and appeared in a number of plays, including The Cherry Orchard at the Aldwych Theatre. She also appeared as Lady Macbeth in a Playhouse Company production. She made her debut on the big screen in the film The Third Secret and made her television debut in the BBC serial Hilda Lessways. In the course of her career, she has won over 50 awards with more than 200 nominations, which include Best Supporting Actress, Academy Award for a role in Shakespeare in Love. She has been honored with a number of titles and awards, including the Order of the British Empire, Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire, and Fellow of the British Film Institute. She married British actor Michael Williams and has a daughter named Tara Cressida Frances Williams, who is an actress. Well past 80, yeah, she's way into her 80s, she is still actively involved in various philanthropic ventures and is in no mood to retire from her acting career.
Which makes me enormously happy because
I
I will
love her.
pretty much watch anything she's in. She's just dynamite.
Yep. Then we have John Malkovich.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my gosh. What an actor. I mean, he's a crazy man, but just a fabulous actor. American actor and producer, best known for his performance in movies such as Places in the Heart and In the Line of Fire, for which he received Academy Award nominations. He has enjoyed a long and productive career spanning 4 decades in Hollywood. Starting out as an actor, he eventually made it big as a producer, too. A love of the performance arts was something he was born with, though neither of his parents was from show business. He displayed a keen interest in acting from childhood and was an active participant in high school plays. He became a charter member of the Steppenwolf Theater Company and appeared in several of their productions. Made his Broadway debut as Biff in Death of a Salesman. Following his successful stage career, he branched out into films. During his initial years in Hollywood, he managed to land only minor roles until he finally got the role in Places in the Heart, where he played Mr. Will. He was also nominated for Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He was also was it a BBC series?
Oh, well, I know what you're talking about.
The
Alphabet
Poirot?
Murders?
Yeah, the Alphabet Murders.
I think it might have been just an independently made BBC film. I'm not sure.
It was great.
Oh, great movie. But if we're going to talk about John Malkovich, we have to talk about the movie Red and Red 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally. I mean,
it's bonkers.
All of the characters are exceptional actors, and their comedic skills are on display.
And Malkovich is just a freaking genius. In both of those movies. I mean, the man is just insane.
Dead.
She plays him like a viol or like a fiddle out of hoedown.
Yeah. But the one with the Alphabet Murders, if you have an opportunity to find that,
that's a
check it
fascinating
out, because
film.
It's a different take on the Poirot.
Yeah, well, the Alphabet Murders, we'd seen it done twice.
Right.
Once with, I can't think of his name.
David Suchet.
Yeah, David Suchet. And then again, but this time they really moved it forward in time.
Yeah.
So it's almost a contemporary film.
Exactly. He's
and he
way
plays
past retirement.
He's an elderly Poirot, and it's fascinating.
Yeah, it truly is. And Malkovich does a superb job in this dramatic acting.
It shows that he's not just a crazy man. He really is a very good actor.
Yep. And then we have friend of ours, Andy Athey and Anthony DeGioia.
Happy birthday.
December 10th, Ada Lovelace. Ada Lovelace was a mathematician known for her work on the analytical engine, a mechanical general-purpose computer proposed by Charles Babbage. Many believe that Lovelace was the first to recognize the potential of computers. It is also believed that she published the first algorithm after realizing that the algorithm could be carried out by a machine like the analytical engine, and did all of this in the mid-19th century. Amazing. That was a time when, women were not involved in science. Then we have Fionnuala Flanagan, Irish stage, television, and film actress. She had the IFTA Lifetime Achievement Award in 2012. She's been in a number of films, and she's also been in a couple of Star Trek episodes. As I can't remember which ones though, but every time we see it, it's like, who is that? Oh, that's Fionnuala Flanagan.
I need to look her up.
Yeah,
and I think I know who she is.
She's on the Irish Times list of Ireland's greatest film actors. Then we have a friend of ours in Canada, Kurt Armbruster. Happy birthday, Kurt. Kurt A. December 11th, Rita Moreno. American actress, singer, and dancer renowned for her work in film, television, and theater.
Her.
In a career spanning more than 7 decades, Rita is among a few elite performers who have received all 4 major American Entertainment Awards, Tony, Grammy, Emmy, and Oscar. Among Rita Moreno's numerous accolades is the prestigious Presidential Medal of Freedom, and she'll be 91.
And she's in a new movie.
Yes, unbelievable.
With Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and crap. Who's and Sally Field.
Yep. And then we have Brenda Lee. Brenda Lee is a best singer, best known for performing country music and pop. One of the earliest pop singers to enjoy a contemporary international following, Lee was among the most charted singers during the 60s. A Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Lee is the only female performer to be inducted in the Country Music Hall and Rock and Roll Halls of Fame. And where did the rest of her bio go? But she was famous for rocking around the Christmas tree.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
there it is.
And then we have friends of ours, Jason T.
Happy
Gaffney.
birthday,
Happy birthday,
Jason.
Jason. Des Demise and Kamal John Iskander.
Just some really great people right there.
Happy birthday to all of you. And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go give a listen to our friends Chuck and Craig over at Technorama Podcast.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counselors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
And it's time for our feedback. These are comments that we received in response to episodes and articles that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com. And the links for each of these will be in the show notes for this episode article number 407 at tggeeks.com. Starting with, regarding TG Geeks episode number 401, we got a comment from Susan Hurley. Thanks for the birthday wishes. We'll be in town Thanksgiving weekend for an in-person AIDS Quilt Songbook concert. Hope to see you there. Sadly, we couldn't make it. Wish we could have, but yeah, we just weren't able to make that. But thank you, Susan. Also, moving on, regarding Fan Base Press announces LGBTQ plus young adult romance graphic novel, 4-Color Heroes, with Te Reo Maori translation. Got a comment from Fan Base Press saying, thank you so much for your support and for spreading the word about 4-Color Heroes. We really appreciate it. And we close it off regarding Ben's Breakdown. Tar is a masterpiece that is both horrifying and beautiful. And we got a comment from Teresa Steinloff Rochester. She left this for us on our website. Yours was the best take on Tar that I have ever seen or read, including listening to some interviews with Todd Field, who's the director, and selected actors. Todd Field is a brilliant writer and filmmaker, but he falters a bit in being able to discuss and clarify this masterpiece. Like you, I watched the film feeling Lydia Tarr was a real person. I was upset to find out afterwards there was no book to read to help answer my questions. I was bothered by the same plot points you mentioned and wonder if Lydia was suffering from schizophrenia or at the very least experiencing some sort of emotional/mental breakdown. I also wondered what actually happened in that warehouse building she follows Olga into. Lydia is physically beaten, which contradicted my thoughts that all these experiences, like the screaming in the forest, were only inside her mind. I left the theater feeling a bit cheated not to have definitive answers. I have a music background, so I was not bothered by the terminology, but you make a good point that this could be a problem for many viewers. Even with these imperfections, this was a brilliant movie and well worth my time and concentration. Bravo to all the incredible talent that made Tar possible, as well as to reviewers like you who have commented about this film with such insight. Thank you. Well, Teresa, thank you for that wonderful
Absolutely.
feedback. We greatly appreciate it.
Yep. If you want to leave a comment, you can do that on our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram. You can even comment on our episodes on YouTube, as well as anything we publish at tggeeks.com. And you can receive a shout out like these folks did in a future episode. We also have a listener feedback line, and we want to hear from you. We'll play that on air, and you can be famous just like us. Or not. Meaning us are not famous. You can call 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. And as always, please play nice.
For more than 2 decades, Judy and Dennis Shepard have honored their son Matt by working to erase hate around the world. The Matthew Shepard Foundation honors his legacy by inspiring the good work of activists, teachers, artists, and legislators, and everyday LGBTQ+ folks and their allies. Join us today in helping to erase hate. Visit MatthewShepard.org.
Thank you to Comcast NBC Universal for that promo. Well, as everybody knows, we are huge supporters of independent creators, whether they are filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or others. Please buy their stuff, go to their websites, go to their film or their Etsy pages, their Facebook pages. Consider supporting independent creators. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
We are short on time.
We are short on time, but we have one really hilarious thing. I just laughed out loud until I almost made myself sick. This is a little thing that I ran across on a news clipping service, and I'm going to let you talk about it.
Well, basically, there were delivery robots. This was in Cambridge, where there was a test program where robots would deliver groceries. And these delivery robots, they queue patiently to use a pedestrian crossing in Cambridge. And one of them asks a woman passing by to please press the crossing light for them.
Yeah.
Because they can't reach.
They just queued up.
They queued up because they can't push the button. So one of them asked a woman to do that. I thought that was unbelievably brilliant.
Just hilarious.
That it would do that. And I mean, this is not a joke. We'll have the link for this story in the show notes for this episode. You've got to check this out. It's too long to read now, but oh my God, this really made us laugh.
Yeah, it was great. And we also want to give a shout out to Arizona Opera for the production of Ariadne of Naxos, written by Richard Strauss. Oh my Lord.
This was amazing.
An A+ home run by Arizona Opera.
Out of the park.
Oh my God.
It was brilliant.
The singers, the staging, the set was absolutely incredible. It's probably the best thing that Arizona Opera has ever done.
I have to agree. It was breathtaking.
Yep.
And it's time for our weekly review. These are items that we ran on our website this past week at tggeeks.com, and the links for each of these will be in the show notes for this episode, article number 407 at tggeeks.com, starting with Sunday, November 27th. Nerdy Chupacabras, number 128. On Monday the 28th, TG Geeks episode number 406. On Tuesday the 29th, Ben's Holiday Breakdown, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Oh my gosh.
On Wednesday the 30th, Andrea's Angle, Nanny, Beautiful and Strange. On Thursday, December 1st, Andrea's Angle, Violent Night, Santa Slays. I cannot wait. On Friday the 2nd, Hamish Downey's playlist for December 2022. And on Saturday the 3rd, This Got Made, hosted by Carlton Tetley, Season 4, Episode 5, Leonard Nimoy's Primortals. Oh my God. We have some shout-outs that we need to make. First to Brian Weber, our good friend Arkle. He's on Twitter as the Geek of All Trades. That's at Geek of All Trades. Geek is spelled the letter G, the number 3, letter K of All Trades. Also referred to as Brian the Ampersand List YouTuber. And we mentioned him because he has his Arkle Times Post Dispatch News, which does republish some of our content from time to time. To find the Post Dispatch News, find him on Twitter and search for him as I just described. And while you're searching for all things Arkle, go to his YouTube channel. That'll be youtube.com/Arkle Studios for the wonderful things that he's got going on there. We must also give some shout-outs to a couple of Facebook groups for allowing us to post our episodes and relevant articles to their pages. First, Two Gay Geeks After Hours. Big thanks to the moderators for literally saying we could share away our content there. Their address is facebook.com/groups/Gay Geeks After Hours. That's all one word. And then to The Gay Geek for pretty much the same thing. And their URL is facebook.com/groups/The Gay Geek. And as always, we give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Other places we can be found are Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Amazon Podcasts, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Also, check us out on Sci-Fi Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays for a replay. And listen to their other content. They are a 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We will have several links on the page. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Live and be your authentic self, no matter what the world tells you. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated. Peace.
Cheers.